As a college ear training teacher, some students come up to me and they ask, why do we have to use solfege? Why can't I just use numbers? In this video, we're going to get to the bottom of my answer by getting into the pros and cons of listening, singing, and thinking in solfege versus numbers. And then we're going to end the video with a little melody that you can use to sing to reinforce or to address the weakness of the winning system. I'm Hans at tuneindigo.com. Let's begin. Research tells us that using a system where you connect in your mind some kind of singable word to musical understanding, tonal understanding, greatly improves your ability to remember, decode, and imagine music and play by ear, of course. So the systems we have available to us, as far as I know, include fixed do, solfege, movable do, solfege, letter names, like the names of the notes, Indian sargam, and numbers. I've addressed the question of fixed do versus movable do in this video, and I don't have enough expertise to really take on sargam, and I'll save letter names for another time because it has a slightly different purpose within your range of understanding. So let's get down to movable do solfege versus numbers. Before we get into the comparison, let's drill down just a little deeper into the purpose of this system. The purpose of the system is to give you a way to express what you hear without an instrument. You then apply your understanding of what you hear using these solfege or number systems or some kind of solmization system to your understanding of major and minor scales on your instrument. And the idea is, what research definitely tells us, is that singing allows you to reinforce, hear, and internalize melodic and harmonic patterns that you want to recognize later on. So here are the strengths of using numbers. First, it leverages your existing numeracy. If you can count from 1 to 8, and sometimes to 12, you already have the sort of the brain wiring to understand tonal relationships. 1, 2, 3 goes 1, 2, 3. Right? You know that. 5, 1, 5, 1. We know that 5 goes down to 1. Of course, it also goes up to 1. Another strength of numbers is that they describe the tonal function using common music theory vocabulary. And what that means is we're used to saying the 1 chord. We're used to saying the 4 chord. So thinking 1, 3, 5, 4, 6, 1 kind of makes a lot of sense, right? We want to know what the members of each chord are, and we generally talk about those in terms of numbers. So if you're building chords, you're thinking in scales, you're thinking these numerical relationships, it's kind of baked in to music theory. Third advantage of thinking in numbers is that it engages your math thinking, which means if you're really good at numbers, you're going to be really good at thinking musically with numbers. And it happens that that's also a disadvantage of using numbers, and we'll get to that in a second. The first disadvantage of singing and thinking musically with numbers is they're just not very singable. Some of them end with consonants, some of them end with vowels, some of them have all sorts of tongue-twistery phonemes stuck in them, like 3, 1, 2, 3. It's not super singable. 4, 4. Where's the vowel? There's no open feeling there. They often end with consonants. Even the word 7 has 2 syllables. So you're stuck with going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or sev, which is really quite awkward. The second disadvantage is numbers can't convey chromatic alterations. So 4, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, you would sing the same word as you would if you were going to raise that fourth and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you lose some information actually by using numbers. The third weakness of thinking in numbers and singing in numbers is that it engages your math thinking. So while it's a strength for those of us who really just have a knack for numbers, it can be a real impediment and kind of an emotional barrier. Like if you've decided that you are not a math person and now you're doing music theory I find that a lot of people balk at that. And so we want to just be aware that engaging math thinking is both a pro and a con. It's a strength for some and it's a weakness for others. The first strength of solfege, movable do solfege, is that it's very singable. You get a consonant and then you get a vowel. And that allows you to move up and down through the scale, through chords, by singing these super simple words that are actually designed for this purpose. Do, mi, re, fa, mi, so, fa, la, so, ti, la, do, ti, re, do. It's very easy to sing, open your mouth, and engage in these words. The second strength of movable do solfege versus numbers is that you can convey chromatic alterations with the simple change of a vowel. For example, going back to the raised fourth, that's awkward with numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. Same word, but we lose some sensibility towards that. Solfege, we can go do, re, mi, fa. And then to raise that fourth, we go do, re, mi, fi. And the changes that we make are consistent across the scale. For example, the raised do is, we just take the O off, we change it to E. D. The raised re, we add re. Mi has no functional raising. Fa has a fi. So has a si. La has a li. And ti is already raised. In fact, we can think about those upward chromatic alterations as making each other syllable more like ti, because they're really kind of like a fake leading tone into the next note higher. Similarly, going down, T becomes te as it's lowered. La becomes le as it's lowered. So becomes se as it's lowered. Fa, no functional lowering. Mi becomes me. Re is the only outlier, and that changes to ra, because of course it's already a sounding. So it's a very consistent system. And then the third advantage of using movable do solfege instead of numbers is that the math thinking is still there because there is an order, but it's subordinated to sound. It keeps you closer to the listening that brought you into your passion for music in the first place. Okay, now the weaknesses of solfege. The main weakness is that relationships, intervals, and alterations need to be internalized. You need to actually learn what these relationships are. How much higher is do than la? How much higher is so than fa? So it gives you a little extra work, but that's okay because that extra work can be done musically. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a little simple melody to help you with it. Now, the final weakness of movable do solfege is that it can be difficult if your native language uses solfege syllables to represent note names, which is the case in much of Europe and Latin America, where mi means E. Mi flat would be E flat. So learning movable do, if you've grown up thinking in fixed do, can be a special challenge. And if that is true for you, you might want to stick with numbers. Before I show you the winner, which won't really surprise you, I'm going to show you one thing that will encourage you to think in both systems. We think of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do as the same as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do is 1. Do is 1. Now, when we do minor in what's called parallel solmization, or do-based minor, do is still 1. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, te, do. Still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1. Now, if I step down to la, and now I've got la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, la. Now I've moved 1 down. So now 1 is la. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 1, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la. And the outcome of that is that you want to be flexible in your musical thinking enough so that you can think, oh, well, I'm in Lydian and I'm thinking Lydian in this particular way. Fa is now 1. Or maybe I'm thinking Dorian. Re is now 1. But I don't want to get too deep into the modes right now. So let's just keep it with that one thing that La can sometimes be 1, Do can sometimes be 1, and other tones as well can be 1. And so you can adjust your way of thinking, matching one of the 7 letters to one of the 7 solfege syllables. It won't surprise you to learn that I believe that the winner is solfege, but you get to decide as long as you're not in my class. I encourage you to at least take Movable Do Solfège for a little spin. You're going to find the more things you sing in solfège, Movable Do Solfège, the more the tonal degrees start to just like pop out and announce themselves. And I try to give you many things on this channel for you to sing so that you can internalize these relationships, and I try to model them as best as I can. Starting with this one. Now I'm giving it a little beat just to give it a little pep, maybe a little catchiness, and I've got a little chord progression that goes along with it. Hope you like it. You can sing the straight scale, just going up and down, but you can also break it into little chunks that make it a little more digestible. It's broken into 3 notes at a time to help you do a thing that takes effort and then pause and think ahead. I'll sing it 4 times. You can join in whenever you want. Sounds like this. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, sol, la, ti. Do, ti, la, la, sol, fa, fa, mi, re. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, sol, la, ti. Do, ti, la, la, sol, fa, fa, mi, re. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, sol, la, ti. Do, ti, la, la, sol, fa, fa, mi, re. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, sol, la, ti. Do, ti, la, la, sol, fa, fa, mi, re. I hope you found this helpful and feel empowered now to make a choice between solfege and numbers, or at least to explore the difference and play with taking melodies that you know, even if it's this little scale thing that I just gave you, and sing them in one of those 2 systems and feel how they feel different, especially comparing pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses. Be sure to visit tuneindigolearning.com, check out the course, Holistic Ear Training Foundations, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.